Lamar Jackson's in off-season mode, Sarah, and he posted something on Instagram yesterday that, of course, got a lot of people talking. Here it is. He is in what looks to be a cold tub. Do we
Yep,
think that's a cold tub?
for sure it's a cold tub.
Okay. And his caption, pretty simple. Big things on the way, ... Stay tuned with a shh emoji and a hunted emoji. The photographer, courtesy of Truz Productions. And now our minds wander, Sarah.
Oh, I'll let you wonder because I know what it is.
Uh,
Just telling you right
excuse
now.
me?
I know what it is.
What do you mean you know what it is?
I mean, I know what it is.
Did you do some digging?
It's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Okay, but before I do, where's your head running?
Gotta be honest,
Just to have fun with it.
haven't looked into it a ton. Clearly
Okay.
not as much as you. I think this is an off-season, outside of football type of business announcement would be my guess, with some of the
Yes.
various things that he has his hands in.
Yes.
So people are telling me it's obvious. Maybe I'm just completely oblivious here. So help
Well,
me out.
listen, before I reveal it to you, I'm sure many in the chat knows, but there's a lot of people that may not know. You know, it's kind of like you said, business. Could it be, a new cologne? Or is it like a new gym? What's the name of the gym?
Oh, the entire gym.
Tire gym? Or is there like
Ken Francis.
you say?
Remember Ken Francis and the entire gym and all that saga back a couple of years ago?
Yes, absolutely. Or is it just Lamar putting his foot down and being like, "This is our year"? Because that's really what I want it to be, but he can't control that. Bobby,
I know it's not that one. I know it's not the latter.
here's the answer. You got it?
What is
It's
going on?
Kevin Hart's YouTube show that he does. I don't even the show is called Cold as Balls.
Okay.
And he has, if you look it up, that cold tub that he's in, it's exactly what's on set. It has that blue thermometer. It's the aluminum thing going around. Has he's had a ton of athletes come in and they, chat while they're in a cold tub.
That is hilarious.
And it's gonna be awesome. He's basically Lamar's putting up a promo for it. He obviously just filmed it because he was getting ready to go in the cold tub. I'm sure Kevin Hart was on the other side, and they're trying to build up some promo for it. But I'm here to help. I'm here to help promo it because I'm gonna love watching this thing. Kevin Hart and Lamar Jackson talking in a cold tub. Sign me up for that all day long.
Color me oblivious, folks. Had never heard of Kevin Hart's new show. I think it's absolutely fantastic. My youngest brother, John, for whatever reason, as a senior in college, decided a couple months ago to purchase himself a cold tub. It sits in the back of his townhome. He and his roommates begin every single day by taking a plunge. I have no idea how long they sit in it, but having done my own cold plunge during bye week, Sarah, if you remember back in December in Scandinavia, it was in Oslo. What did I tell you? I came back and I said, I've never felt more alive than getting out of that cold tub. And I wonder, what?
I just had an idea.
You want to do it at Columbus?
Cold Summit.
Are we adding?
I've heard, like you've told me, I've heard so many people tell me what an experience it is. And I think there's a place in Columbus that's pretty well known. And like, listen, we'll do our regular show on Friday, right? We've already got our Thursday through like Friday afternoon set.
And
we got a little bit of Saturday, and we extended it
the weekend, folks.
Due to my husband's request. Okay, we're keeping you through Sunday instead of Saturday. We should go do this, and we'll put up social media posts for it. How about that?
I'm down to do it.
Let's do it.
I think that'd be fun.
We'll have to call it something different.
Yeah. Cold as vault. Yeah, cold as well, yeah, we'll have to come up with something.
Cold Voltrons, something like that.
Oh, this is great. And look at Mike.
I'm gonna look into cold. If you don't mind, I'm gonna look into cold tubs, and we'll bring my kids, and they'll freak out over it.
Oh, I was already saying your kids are gonna be all the way. Your kids are gonna stand 10 toes down for this idea. Absolutely.
Of anybody though, Gardner has to stay in. He's Mr. Tough Guy. My oldest has to stay in. We're doing this. Cold as the vault. Cold as vaults. Everybody's coming up with different ideas.
Hey,
Keep hitting us with it.
hey, and shifting back to, Lamar and this specific announcement now that I, catch up on life.
Yeah.
Think about it. He does not do many sit down interviews that are outside of Ravens related things, right? Like,
Uh-uh.
so I'm excited for this. Who knows what's going to come from it?
I'm excited too, which is why I'm here to tease it too.
Yeah.
I'm here to tease it too. I think it's going to be, dude, Kevin Hart, like, I can't even breathe when I'm listening to him because he's so funny.
He's a
And
star.
so I'm just like, is this going to be the whole time he's just cracking up Lamar Jackson? Like, what? How is this going to work out? How is this
And
going to work out?
and more importantly, how much is he going to get Lamar talking? Because
Yeah,
a lot of these professional athletes, obviously have a tremendous amount of respect. I mean, this guy's a media mogul. This dude's a star.
right.
Kevin is in every. It's almost like Snoop Dogg-esque. You turn on a TV, you turn on some sort of sporting event, you turn on the Olympics, you turn on this, you turn on that, and there they are. Like,
Yeah.
these guys are featured in everything. So I wonder if even his decision to do this has more to do with his respect for Kevin than it does actually having to realize, oh wait, I got to sit down and talk. You know?
Right, right. And I want to see like Lamar's tolerance for it.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure these guys sit in cold tubs all the time.
sure.
And Kevin seems to be, he's got to have built up a tolerance by now. And that's one thing people don't know about him. He like wakes up early and is working out himself and cold tubs. He's been doing enough interviews in them. But I don't know if I could concentrate, Bobby, to do a whole interview in there. So
Yeah, it's either going to be you're either going to be an open book or you're just going to be frozen shut.
yeah.
Right? It's one of the two.
That's exactly it. I'll be like, I'll talk. Just get me out of the cold tub, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk. I promise. Yeah.
Straight up.
So,
So,
anyway, that wasn't the only thing on Instagram that kind of got people's attention yesterday. Because speaking of the entire gym, Bobby,
Hmm.
he put up a quick story, and look at his outfit here. He's got the entire gym leather jacket, and is that the African wild dog logo on the other side? I mean, I can't see it.
where are you at? Where are you looking?
Okay, so on one side of his jacket, it's the entire gym. Then there's a gold emblem.
Okay.
Is
Yeah, I see where you are. I don't
is
know.
that his?
Really hard to tell.
I don't know, but on the inside, he's got a shirt of himself walking out of the tunnel. He's got that gold chain. He's got those sunglasses. He's got that like long hair, unbraided. He, as the kids say, it sounds dumb coming out of my mouth, but it's just all aura right there. It's just Lamar Jackson aura.
Well, somebody help us out. What's that hairstyle? Is that the blowout? Is that what it is? Chat, help us out. What the heck is
But
that
did
style?
did they know what the gold logo was too?
Maybe. You guys on top of this for us? Because
Yeah, we got nothing.
this isn't our forte.
Yeah, nothing so far.
Julian, okay.
Yeah,
Julian confirming.
Well, no, he's laughing at it. It looks like, or
Uh-oh.
is it the blowout? Is he making? Yeah, braid
Okay,
out, Chris, braid out.
See, I think they're just screwing with us. I I don't think anybody is pushing us in the right direction.
Isn't it what blowout? What like white girls like me get? Like we go get a blowout.
I wish. Okay. Wait a second. Tanya's showing some love. She typically steers us in the right direction. And
What'd Tanya
Cameron
say?
says, "Yes, Bobby, that's a braid out.
Okay, braid out.
That was blown out." Okay, wait a second now. JD's stopping me in my tracks. A blowout's totally different. Okay. Wildlife says he gets a blowout.
Look at them just
before he
laughing
gets
at us.
braids. Listen, you guys, we're never gonna try to act as if this
Wait,
is our
what?
forte here.
But what did Tanya say? Wait, does Tanya have a new?
She does. Yeah, let's put her
Tanya,
up
is
on
that
screen.
you?
Should we put her up on screen? Let people see her new selfie. What do you think?
Yeah, put her up.
Let's show some love here. Look at her. She's looking good.
It's a totally different look from the last
Yeah.
image she had.
Tanya, a little glow up for the lady.
There we go, Tanya.
Oh man. Really felt like we got somewhere here. This is good.
Did we get somewhere? Because I feel like I'm further away.
Well, probably. Yeah. Who knows?
All right. All right. Braid out, braid out. Is it braid out, blowout is what we're going with? Braid out.
And how about from one quarterback to another?
Another. Okay. So, Mr. Cooper Rush went into the building there at Owings Mills. And she's Tanya, you're putting me up. That's my hit the streets look. You look
Hey.
good, Tanya.
Let's go. Hit the streets.
All right, so Cooper Rush. Okay, so you know how I keep accidentally putting another Cooper last name with him? This is what's going to help me. I've got it now. I've got it. So while he was in Dallas, when it was his turn to start, they called it Rush Hour.
Nice.
So now I'm going to remember.
That's
now
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to experience the rush hour though. So just make that clear.
Right. Well, the jokes in Dallas is that
memorization.
he was the better quarterback. That's the jokes. And so they were like,
I
ooh,
got
rush
you.
hour.
I got
But
you.
listen, if Lamar goes down, and we don't want that, obviously it's bad news if he goes down. You got to get behind your backup, right? And so part of that is, all right, okay, it's rush hour.
Hey,
It's rush hour.
Coop, we love you, man. You seem like a great guy, family man. Rush hour needs to be scout team only. All right, all due respect.
Well, of course.
Let's keep the rush hour around the scout team.
Let's
But
keep-
what did he have to say?
Let's do that. All right. So he talked a little bit. When I tell you this guy was just monotone, very dry, didn't want to get too high or too low. They asked him, we've talked about it on the show, like he's got a completely different style, all that kind of stuff. He understands what his role is when it comes to being a backup quarterback.
You've been in a quarterback room with Dak Prescott. How much are you looking forward to being in a quarterback room with Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, super excited. I mean, former MVP twice, I believe. So, I mean, pretty excited to get to watch it up close, see how it's done, and help in any way I can.
How much pride do you take in being, okay, if I have to come in for Lamar, we're going to go out and, expect to win and win with me under center as opposed to him?
It's really exciting to be on a good team. You get to 9-5. We had some good teams down there in Dallas, and so you don't have to play out of yourself. You can play within yourself, do your job, rely on your teammates, and I think you have a similar situation here. Really good offense. Kind of just go do your job, get the ball to the fast guys, let them work. That's the name of the game, is you be ready. That's your job description. Your number one job description is be ready. And your goal when you're called upon, you go win, and that's the job. I feel like I can do a good job of, when you have to be that guy, you can be that guy, and when you don't, you go back into that other role, being an asset in the room, helping out while still preparing. And I think just throughout the years, I've gotten better at that.
All right, so, he addresses kind of a few different topics there, Bobby. Number one, when we talk about different styles, he's like, listen, I just got to go out there and be myself if I'm called upon. Okay, that's a great start because you are not Lamar Jackson and nobody is Lamar Jackson. So you do have to be you. We've talked about it before. The Ravens have the personnel to be multiple. So he doesn't need to be Lamar Jackson. You can have 11 personnel out there if you want your 3 wide receivers out there, if you want your 2 tight ends out there, if you want to hand it off to Derrick Henry and do nothing else and let Patrick Ricard lead the way. I feel like with this surrounding cast, whatever style quarterback you are set up for success. It's just that Lamar takes it a million times levels higher, but he's right. He's got to be himself.
Cooper just comes across as a pro. Understand It's a certain level of self-awareness that comes with experience and service time. He's 31. He's an undrafted guy, played at Central Michigan. 2017, he came out. He signed with the Cowboys, was with the Giants for a cup of coffee in 20, then back to Dallas, and now he's with Baltimore. And as we discussed earlier in the week, and as he just mentioned, he's a 9-5 career starter. So he's been available, and when his number's been called, he's produced. He's game managed effectively. He's thrown the deep ball when asked. Matter of fact, I have a statistic that I wanted to show in just a second here. Look at this. Again, small sample size, minimum of 25 attempts, but the best accuracy on go ball routes in 24. Well, what if I told you that the Ravens have 2 of the top 6 from last year in their quarterback room? Lamar was 3 and Cooper was 6. And there he is with his beautiful family. So it just, he comes across as very, very mature, very, very self-aware, and That's what you have to be. If you want to be a career backup, which that's what he's become at this point, with last year certainly being an outlier because of Dak's unavailability, that's how you have to be wired. And there's a lot of skill in that. And obviously there's a great life to be had too, by the way. There's a reason why they call it the best job in sports,
Yeah.
backup quarterback. And he's done a good job of making himself available.
Yeah, and he's cool with it. Like, he literally said in there, he's like, "Well, if I'm called upon, I always have to be ready. I have to be ready." And he has been ready. And then he's like, "And then when I'm not called upon, I got to go back to that role." Like, he's like, "Going to that role where I just try to be an asset and let things kind of move along." So here's what's funny. I told you, Bobby, in Dallas, they love him. They love him. Skip Bayless, obviously a big Cowboys fan. When the Ravens signed Cooper Rush, he tweets this in all caps, right? "Congrats to the Baltimore Ravens for signing the NFL's best backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. He will be missed." They love him, I'm telling you, in Dallas. And listen, unless you're one of those backups that you're fighting for a starting job, okay, so you're on the cusp of being a starter, like, I don't think Cooper Rush beats any of those guys. But of the guys that are like, yes, I'm a backup, right? I'm not here to try to win a starting job like what, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields were fighting over last year. So taking those guys out of it, I mean, there's certainly an argument to say that he's one of the best based off of his 9-5 record as a starter. And so it's hilarious, Bobby. I didn't even clip it because the answer was so dry. But Cassie Cherigo asked him about this quote. She was like, "Hey, Skip loves you. He called you the best backup quarterback in the league. What's your reaction to that?" He didn't even really acknowledge the quote. He just is like, "Yeah, when it's your job, when it's your time, you just try to go in and do your best and try to win the game." Like, that's all he said. Like, he didn't crack a smile, nothing. So, Bobby, it took until they asked him about not being drafted. So for those that don't know, Cooper Rush went undrafted in 2017. He grew up in Michigan, and then his college, he went to Central Michigan, so completely undrafted. And they asked him, what is it that they didn't see? You went undrafted. Here you are, a 9-5. When you get to start, people are calling you the best backup quarterback in the league. Like, what is it that teams missed? And this is the most personality, enthusiasm he showed throughout the entire interview on the lounge.
There's a lot of the physical traits don't jump off the tape. I'm never going to impress anybody in shorts throwing the ball. But I think I was fortunate enough to play 4 years in college, so a lot of ball, learned a lot of situational type things, and that kind of helped me early on in my career and hang around a bit. And then I've gotten a lot better physically. The NFL is not the ceiling for a lot of guys. I think people forget that now it's your job. Full-time guys get better every year. And I think that can get lost sometimes. And but back then, I probably wouldn't have drafted myself either. But here we are, and you just kept working and try to keep it going.
Good for him.
He's
man.
like, I wouldn't have drafted myself.
Good for him. He's got a little bit of sense of humor, but you're right. It is drier than dry. But you know what?
Yeah.
They're not paying him to podcast.
No,
They're paying him to
they're
come in,
not.
handle scout team reps. God forbid he ever were to get called into QB1. If Lamar were to go down, he'll be ready. And he's a pro. And that's why they're bringing him in. That's why I find it really hard to believe that there is some out there within the fan base that are actually genuinely criticizing this move. I don't really understand where they're coming from. I think this was smart. I think it's something that would put the Ravens in a good position. You kind of alluded to this earlier in the week, that if, again, God forbid, it were to be a non-season ending injury for Lamar, and you need somebody to go in and kind of steer the ship, right? Just keep it above water for a month, a few weeks. I think he's your guy that can do that, especially with what he's going to have at his disposal should that actually come to fruition.